love the channel and find it useful in becoming a happy retiree. Subscribe today. John in Beaufort. John, what's going on, man? How can I help?
Well, I've just accumulated a lot of cash, and I don't know what to do with it. I have a wonderful pension. I've been retired for 9 years. We've been able to save a couple $1,000s a month out of my pension, and I've invested it a lot. I still have earned income, and so we do the Roth every year. But
wait, are you still? So, how old are you, John?
78.
And you're still working?
I have a very interesting side occupation.
Can we ask what it is?
I'm a musician.
Oh, well, that's a cool side profession. So you're still playing music?
Yes.
And you're still making money doing it?
Yes.
And so there's no reason to stop, and you're going to continue to do that. So you can still keep putting money into Roth, but you also have a pension.
Yes.
All right. So then the issue is that the issue here is you've got too much cash, and which obviously is a good problem to have, right?
Yeah.
You have plenty of income. Another great problem to have. I hear a collective sigh of woe is me from all of our listeners for John here. He's a hip musician that's 78. He's still having fun, earning money, and too much money in cash. The question, though, John, what's the percentage of money in cash? If you were to look at your cash plus your investments and everything.
I've got 15% of it in cash.
Which I don't think is a crazy high amount. And whether you have 100,000 or $1 million or $5 million, to have 15% in cash, definitely on the high side. My rule of thumb is really 1 to 10%. So I think that 10% is about as much as you ever really need. So if you have $1 million, 100,000 in cash is plenty in cash. The $2 billion, you've got 200,000 in cash. So in your case, 15, yeah, that's high, but it also isn't ridiculously high. I think it's a frustrating number to be in. I think the question, it's a frustrating asset class to be in because it's not doing anything. And you can have money sitting in any of these big banks or brokerage companies, whether it's Wells Fargo or Vanguard or Schwab or any of these big brokerage companies or Fidelity, and their money markets really they don't pay a lot. And even though the Fed's been raising interest rates, money markets are still not passing that on to you. In fact, I think that's a big part of how a lot of these financial institutions expect to really generate profits over the next several years. Is that's a big part of their business. It went away when the Fed took interest rates to zero. Today, as that goes higher and higher, they make a comfortable spread on your money market money. Now, with that, I guess my question is, what's the reason long term, or who do you leave in this to? Do you have a bunch of kids? Do you have a charity? What's the goal? You don't really need the money. So, and it doesn't sound like you can spend it. What's long term? What do you want to happen to this money?
Well, I want to go to my children and my grandchildren. My wife just died a month ago, and
oh God, I'm sorry. My God.
And I am having to rearrange things. I haven't done it yet, but I'm in the process of getting there. I help grandchildren with college. I'm not paying the full amount, but we had 529 plans, and so we've been able to help that. When I say I have cash, I mean just in a money market. I've also got about $50,000 in CDs, and that's cash too.
So John, here's my thought, is that part of helping you solve this is and I know you're going through a lot because your wife just passed away, so there's obviously no rush to do any of this, but I think that as you start to wrap your arms around all of this, I want you to think about the family and your kids and your grandkids as, all the money that you've accumulated over all these years. It's really, ultimately, it's going to them. So the money, in particular in your case, because you already have a pension and it's already bringing in more than you need. So really, the money doesn't have your time horizon in your life anymore.
Yes.
It's really their time horizon. So it's, if your kids are in their 40s and 50s or 60s, and then your grandkids are 20s, 30s, this money has a giant time horizon. And in that, I want you to start thinking about, well, hey, if you were 30 again, John, or you were 40, how would you be investing? And the answer would probably be more significantly or heavier in the stock side or the equity side of the market. And that, I think, is where that cash goes. You don't have to invest all of it, but 5 or 10% of the 15 or 2/3 of that 15 could easily go back into dividend paying stocks. Hi, I'm Wes Moss, and thanks for taking a minute to hear about what's so different about my new book, You Can Retire Sooner Than You Think. So unlike other retirement books, this book will give you a step-by-step guide, whether you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s, to learn from what these successful and happy retirees did to get there. I hope you enjoy the book, but more importantly, I know that it'll help you retire sooner than you think.